Hi there, and welcome to the Tayport Community Garden. It may only be the beginning of January, but it's already time to start thinking about the season ahead. And today we're going to be talking about seeds and all the questions that arise from them. So for example, we've already started off our grown beans, nice early crop in these reused toilet rolls. And they'll germinate quite quickly. Plus, we've got some sweet peas here which we're soaking in water, and I'll explain about that later on.
Yep.
But first of all, I think you've got some questions for us. We've got a lovely seed box here.
This is my seed box. It's from, as you can see, New York. I don't know how it got to a car boot sale in Fife, but it's a beautiful box. We've got lots of lovely original cards as well. But we've also got lots of my seeds from last year. So the first question really is this actually a good box and a way to store seeds over the winter?
Well, most people who are really keen on growing their own veg and flowers for that matter will have something like this, which is all of last year's seeds that have been grouped into their various types, roots, leaves, etc. And the golden rule about this is to keep the moisture levels as low as possible. Which, if you have a warm under the cupboard stair place or
it's
under
not
the
a good place.
Well, yes, it would be.
Because it's dry.
But not warm. A shed outside, you'd probably rodents would come in and get them. And so the golden rule is keep them dry, keep them not too bad. Some people would, for example, advocate keeping them in a Tupperware box with some rice in it.
Oh, okay, I hadn't
So
heard
the rice would
about that.
soak up the extra moisture and keep the seeds nice and
okay. Good. So the next question is, I've got some seed packets here and they don't appear to say the expiry date. It's just packed at the year ending. So can I use these this year, do you think? And how are we going to find out?
Right, well, some seed packets, they say packed in the year 2018, for example, but so by 2020.
Yeah. And if this one is just packed by in the year ending,
what kind is it?
it is carrot.
Right.
One of my favourite vegetables.
The shelf life of seeds varies. You've probably heard of the stories about some grain coming out of a pyramid that still managed to germinate.
Yeah, I know, it's not
because the conditions were so incredibly dry and cool, no temperature fluctuation.
Yeah.
But you can always go online to see maybe information about vegetable seed shelf life. But to give you a quick idea,
ballpark
tends to be 3 to 4 years for most vegetables.
Okay.
Peas and beans are quite reliable. Carrots, slightly less, maybe 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
And then, for example, if you've got parsley, leeks, parsley especially, and also parsnips, don't just buy a new packet.
Okay, I'll go through the seeds and check them definitely before I start. Yeah. Good.
So,
and
testing.
Yes.
Right.
So how do you test then?
Well,
can you test?
It'd be very frustrating for you to go out in the garden, say in March, get the ground all ready, sow a line of vegetable seeds, only to find out that 3 weeks later nothing's happened, and you've lost 3 weeks of growing time. So what you can do is get a tray like this, soak some kitchen towel, put a wee bit of seeds on the kitchen towel and cover them up.
Okay.
And then we're obviously very lucky in that we've got a lovely deluxe propagator, solar panel with soil warming cables, but an airing cupboard, because light, there doesn't have to be light, so you wouldn't have to use a windowsill, for example. And then you'd soon find out some seeds, like the brassica families, would germinate within a week, and so you'd know they were fine to go.
Okay.
Carrots, notoriously long, but if you did it in February, you'd know that seed packet was no use for you, and you don't need to use a lot. So that's one good way of finding out whether you're going to waste time.
And what about the story about putting tree seeds, for example, in water to find out whether they're good or not?
Right. Well, not just tree seeds, any seeds. Because, for example, this morning we've prepared our sweet peas.
Oh yeah.
So what we've done with these is that we've chafed off the outside of the seed coat, which is very hard, and put them in water.
Yep.
Now, if any were floating, which we're lucky none are, that's
They're-
usually an indication
they're no
that there's no
Uh-huh.
there's no embryo inside them. So if you've got a lot of seeds and they're big enough, you can try peeling them open or biting them, and they should have
A
what
little-
like the equivalent of a nut tissue inside.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't that doesn't always say that they're viable.
No.
But it means that you're not sowing the completely dead
Yeah,
ones.
the dead seeds, yeah. Okay. And what about this thing about, packets versus those sweet peas? You seeds that you collect yourself in autumn or in the year? What's your recommendation for things like that?
Okay.
For veggies in
veggies
particular,
and- well,
yeah.
Veggies, you can think about an awful lot of these varieties might be F1s, in which
Oh.
case they've been bred specially.
No idea what an F1 is.
Right, it's a first generation from a cross
Oh,
to add more of what's
Okay.
called hybrid vigour.
okay.
And the thing about saving your seeds from those particular plants is that they become F2.
Ah,
So
right.
So instead of having purple carrots, you might get purple carrots with some yellow. And I mean, you
okay.
still get carrots,
Uh-huh.
but that's the thing about looking out to see if they're F1 or F2.
Oh,
Where it really becomes useful is if you're saving seeds from heritage varieties.
yes.
And so, for example, we've got in here some seed packets that we've saved from vegetables such as skirrets,
Oh, right.
which are
that
really
is
quite unusual old vegetable.
very unusual. Peter, I've never heard of that. What are they?
Skirrets.
Skirrets?
It's a member of the carrot family,
Oh, right.
which
A new one on me.
Yeah. So yes, you
skirrets.
can pick your seeds,
Yep.
dry them, get them cleaned up from any chaff, because that removes the idea that there might be some wee insects hiding in them.
Aye, okay.
And then label them, date them, and bag
Yeah,
them up.
and put them in, yeah. Okay.
But the trick is to make sure that they're really dry. So that idea about putting the
yeah.
seed packet in a kilner jar of rice, for example, would help.
Would be really useful. Yep, yeah. Okay.
Also-
Yeah, this looks interesting.
This is we had wildflower plantings in the borders
I
here.
know. And it was a big success
It
last
was a big
year.
success.
It really was,
so
yeah.
what we did was have some volunteers go out and collect the seed pods, and we kept them in full sun to dry out. And as you can see, these are really dry.
Yeah, beautifully dry.
And so we've actually got a lot more than this, and so we can reuse that in our seed bed. So that's the
Super.
simplest form of seed collecting.
Yeah, great. Very, very good, yeah. And if we've got, like here, I mean, I'm sure I might not sow all of this. Are we going to have our usual seed swap at the garden? Because I think that's really useful if we can.
It is really useful because if nothing else, it helps with the household economy.
Yes, indeed, absolutely.
Because if we all bring along
No
our
waste.
seed packets that we think, well, I'm not going to use that many,
Yeah.
I've got too many, then it's a great social occasion as well.
Yes,
Pippa.
absolutely.
We'll be having a seed swap on the 8th of March.
Brilliant.
Plus we'll have a demonstration about seed sowing,
Oh, excellent.
both indoor and outdoor.
Oh, perfect.
Because
Very good.
it's actually quite a process that
Yeah.
if you've seen it done once, you know how to do it. And so we'll this is our tender varieties. So this is all the ones that have to go in to the propagator. So summer squashes, tomatoes, peppers, and things like that.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
So 8th of March, seed sowing workshop at the community garden. Hope to see you there from
Brilliant.
1 till 3.
Excellent.